According to new car sales figures, Australians really don't care much for light cars, yet they're increasingly first choice for many young car buyers.
Why would that be? Well, it's simple really. They're priced reasonably, cheap to run, they have just as many safety features as bigger cars in the market, and the styling appeals to a much younger audience. So, how does this car, the Toyota Yaris SX, sit in the equation?
Despite all that we as motoring journalists bang on about, how a car looks is still near the top of the pile when it comes to deciding factors when laying down those hard-earned dollars.
Take the German word ja, which means yes, and the Greek goddess Charis, which loosely translates to charm and beauty. You bolt them together and you get what the Japanese marketers thought the Western market would think of the little car's styling.
And that's what Toyota had in mind when coming up with the name Yaris. For 2017, the Yaris has been given some new mascara and eyeshadow, but the clothes have largely remained the same. Yep, it's a facelift. New fog lights, head and tail lights, front and rear bumpers, and new wheel designs, plus some safety features, which we will get to soon.
Let's be honest, the majority of this car's life will be spent zipping about between friends, the short commute to work, or on the mad milk run to the grocery store. It's what it was designed for, because really, out on the freeway, you need to thrash its little heart out to get it going. Saying that, the non-turbo 1.5 litre petrol engine is marginally more powerful than the Suzuki Swift and on par with the Mazda 2.
The Yaris has a 4-speed automatic gearbox, which sounds old, and that's because it is. With less gears than is the norm by today's standards, it revs more at higher speeds, and it shows in fuel economy.
Even though a $50 note should fill the tank, it will drink it quite quickly. We recorded a combined reading of 8.3 litres per 100 kilometres, which is 1.9 litres more than Toyota claims.
The engine is a noisy unit as well, and the sound deadening isn't great either. Saying that, most buyers are going to have the stereo cranked up anyway, so there most likely won't be many complaints. A big miss from Toyota, especially when targeting a younger audience, is the lack of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, while you have to go up the range to find satellite navigation.
The 6.1-inch infotainment touchscreen system seems cluttered at first, but after spending some time with it, it's actually quite easy to find your way around.
However, the rear-view camera isn't going to win awards for clarity. There is Bluetooth audio and phone streaming, which is quick to connect and reconnect. It is nice and clear through the 6 speakers, but my friends have commented that it is scratchy at their end. There's not much to choose from on the options list, but one is definitely worth having.
The $650 Safety Sense package gets you autonomous emergency braking, automatic high beams, and lane departure warning.
Less important to some and more to others is the wider range of colours you can pick from. The Yaris comes with a not exactly earth-shattering 3-year 100,000 kilometre warranty, but it is cheap to service.
$840 over the first 3 years isn't bad, and it is a Toyota, so reliability is less of an issue than with other marques.
No centre console means there isn't a lot of room for your knickknacks, so they will most likely end up in the cup holders or the door pockets.
The door trims are new, but there's still so much plastic, and it's that hard, scratchy plastic that's not particularly nice to touch, and it's all around the cabin.
The steering wheel looks good and feels pretty good too, and this adds a new dimension to the term sporty. A digital speedo would have been a great bonus, but you'll have to settle for old school analogue.
The basic structure of the Yaris hasn't changed since 2011, when it was awarded a 5-star ANCAP safety rating. And that hasn't changed either. You still get 7 airbags dotted around the cabin.
So, will your friends fit in the back? Yes, quite comfortably, but warn them not to bring too much along for the ride. There's space for their tablets, but with no door pockets, lolly wrappers will end up on the floor and they'll have to fight over the single cup holder in the back. Also, if Bub wants to ride along, there are Isofix points. The back seat split 60-40 and boot space at 286 litres favours comparably with the competition. It'll certainly swallow enough for a weekend away for two. There's even some underfloor storage if you want to hide things away.
The only problem with that though is you'll be hitting the freeways, and that's not this car's favourite kind of road. You'll either need to put the stereo up to max or wear some earmuffs to drown out the road noise.
All in all, there's not a lot to love about the Yaris. You can't get away from the fact the materials used on the inside just aren't very nice, especially when put up against European competitors like the Volkswagen Polo, Skoda Fabia and the Renault Clio.
Overall though, it's a car that does its job well, without too much fuss. Charm? Maybe. Beauty? Well, that's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? But affordable and reliable? You bet. And it's got those in spades.